Sunday fun day, but without no football, right? Obviously, we're missing football. But training camp is what less than 2 months away, gentlemen. I know that many teams got done with their OTAs, and we've been getting a little news here and there from all different outlets. I mean, we're trying to keep up with every team, and we heard some great things around the league. But as of recently, we heard about Dalvin Cook, guys. Dalvin Cook finally is no longer a Minnesota Viking. But before we go any further, man, can DeAndre Hopkins be finally signing a contract with a team? Kendo, what have you heard, man?
Man, it's starting to pick up for the brother DeAndre Hopkins. He will be visiting the Titans tonight and into tomorrow from what we've been hearing. And then next week, another team swoop up in the mix. He will be visiting the New England Patriots either Tuesday or Wednesday, the middle of next week. Me as a fan, if y'all follow me on the Kansas Pats talk, I haven't been the biggest fan of DeAndre Hopkins signing him because of the age, but then as time gets nearer and we didn't have to give up nothing, basically we could just sign him for, well, I ain't gonna say for nothing because we got to pay him, but we can just sign him without giving up something. I'm like, hey, shoot, why not? I mean, he's not gonna make us worse, he make us better. And then I think the pecking order up under him, D Hop will be your number one for the Patriots. Juju Smith-Schuster gets the number two corner. Tyquan Thornton, if he can make that year two leap, that's big for him. Kendrick Bourne, still got the rookies in Butte and Douglas. Now we can redshirt those two rookies. Probably cut Parker or trade. You cut him, you save $6 million. Still got Kendrick Bourne, a motivated Kendrick Bourne. He's actually got bigger this offseason. I really feel like the fit with us. He said that when he went on the I Am Athlete podcast, he wants a stable management, a great defense, and a good quarterback. Well, he said he doesn't have to be a great quarterback because Hopkins has won with T.J. Yates and Fitzpatrick and Matt Schupp. He's won and produced with some okay quarterbacks. I don't think none of those guys in the league anymore. So, I mean, I'm not saying calling Mac Jones a top 5, top 10 quarterback, but Hopkins has been proven to get it done. He had the proof in the pudding. He can get it done with not a great quarterback. I think Matt Jones is going to exceed expectation this year. He's going to have a magnificent year. He's been putting in the work this offseason. And worst case scenario, let's just say we get Hopkins, it doesn't work out or whatnot, team-wise and record-wise. Now you get a good look at Matt Jones. All this talent around him now, if he doesn't produce with the talent that we got running right now, Mac Jones ain't your guy. So one way or the other, you're going to have some type of answer if you're a Patriot fan. You're going to have some type of answer. So you're going to see, man, I got my fingers crossed. I hope we get the deal done. But, hey, as my boy said, we cannot let him leave the building when he comes in Tuesday, Wednesday. You got to lock him in there, make him sign that contract.
So we got Hoodlum chiming in. What's going on, Hoodlum? Appreciate you joining us here on East West Football. Kendall, thank you for that insight. Just so people know, man, what Kendall was referring to was that time DeAndre Hopkins had 11 starting quarterbacks with the Houston Texans, man. That was insane. And I think he had almost, I forget the stats, 90-something catches, I think, almost.
Didn't miss a beat at all whenever we were playing with him.
Harv, what do you think, man? I mean,
yeah, why hasn't he signed? That's my thing. Like, come on, man. Like, he is not everybody. I think I saw an article where a bunch of executives think that he's just not the same player. He's just not the same player, man. And I kind of watched a little bit of his film. Plus, he was hurt last year. I mean, he's more of a possession receiver now, I think, in my eyes. He's not the receiver that he used to be. So if that's your thing and that's what you want, then that's what you're gonna get. A possession receiver. He's not gonna blow the top off of these defenses. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, Harvey, he's never been that. Even back in Clemson, everybody thought Sammy Watkins was going to be the main guy coming out, and it come out because I really thought Sammy Watkins was going to be the better receiver when they both came out of Clemson. Turned out to be DeAndre Hopkins. We all know what type of career that Sammy Watkins had. His game has never been built off speed. He's savvy, pretty good route runner. He's not getting a ton of separation, but you can't tell me he won't make that New England Patriot offense or that Tennessee Titan offense better than what it is right now.
I don't see it, man.
Well, but I get what you're saying. That why
I don't see it. I don't see it, man.
I don't see it with Tennessee. I think Tennessee has way bigger problems. then he can really an aging receiver, possession receiver can really step in and help right now. But Kendall mentioned Mac Jones. I'm gonna go to a different Jones. I'm gonna go to Daniel Jones. Now I understand the Giants only have 3 million. See, look at him. Look at him. I see the hate in your eyes. Hate in your eyes.
So just
The
so you know,
Giants only have
Walter
3 million
said
in
that
cap space right now.
Walter says that he does not dislike any team in his NFC North
I
division.
did not say that. I said
That's
I
a
don't
damn
hate. I
lie.
don't hate on any team.
You don't hate
That's a
on any
damn
team,
lie.
but he says that, for instance, Kendall is AFC East. He hates every team except for the Patriots, and Harvey and I are NFC East, and we hate every team except for the Cowboys. But anyways, getting back. Walt, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, so the Giants only have 3 million in cap space right now. They got Saquon on a 1 year deal. They tagged him. That's an area. That's a team that actually needs him. Now, granted, can he take the top off the defense? No, but is he better than what they have right now? Is he an upgrade of what they have? Will he give Daniel Jones a consistent guy who's going to catch the football? Because that was a big issue those dudes had in New York the last 2 or 3 years. Nobody can consistently catch the football, and nobody can consistently stay healthy. So, I mean, is he still a 100-catch guy for 13, 1,400 yards?
No.
No. But if you're looking at a Giants team that's ready to compete right now, you made the playoffs a year ago, you beat the Vikings, and you expect to be better. If you're the New York Giants, that organization and that fan base, you made the playoffs a year ago, you won a game, so you naturally expect to be better. If you can add a few pieces to that offense, because it can't be the same offense you traded out there last year. You got to make adjustments because teams are going to catch up to Daniel Jones and the RPO. And whenever Daniel Jones sees that opening lane, he just straight heads downfield. Like, that's not going to keep happening. So if you want to make sure you gave Daniel Jones his money, if you want to make sure he can benefit from that, or the organization can benefit from him and maximize his potential, you need to give him someone, honestly. Now, they did draft Jalen Hyatt, but Jalen Hyatt is a rookie. He's a speedster. I think more than likely for them, he's going to be that guy they expect to take the top off the defense. So if you can give Daniel Jones a decent body, that's something he hasn't had since he's been in New York, honestly. Sterling Shepard was a decent player, but Sterling Shepard could never stay healthy. Slayton could never stay healthy. Galladay turned out to be a free agent bust. They let Evan Ingram walk in free agency a year ago, a couple years ago. So if you want Daniel Jones to be better, I think that's the spot he could actually go to. Now, whether they want to pay him or not is completely different. Whether or not he wants to be there is completely different. But I say the same thing about Daniel that I said about Dalvin Cook, and we'll get into the Cook later. It's going to come down to what's most important to you. Is it the bread? Is it being somewhere where it's an organization that actually needs you? And if they need you, they're going to give you a multi-year deal. So do you want multiple years? Do you just want the money, or do you just want to go somewhere with a great quarterback and kind of like hop on that train and just win the title? So I'm going with the Giants.
Damn. I think Walt, you hit it. I think you did hit a very specific line right there at the end of your comment. What does he want, right? Does he want money or does he want a ring? And I think that's where he needs to kind of really get it together. Last year we have, the Kansas City Chiefs defending Super Bowl champs. I think that they know how to use wide receivers. But of course, I think D Hop needs to understand, hey, he's already made his money. Let's go get that ring now. So I don't know how far the Patriots
I
are.
want to ask Javi real quick. No, he thinks Daniel Jones is pretty decent. I don't think Jones is bad at all.
Well, we got a comment real quick. Let's see here. Joseph Batten. Has he been on here before?
Nope.
Nope. Round of applause, man. Thank you, Joseph, for stepping up to the batter's box, right? I mean, because right now there's baseball season. So Joseph says, I agree with Detroit. New York could use D-Hop. He's not the same guy, but still a guy you have to game plan for. Giants wide receiver corp is pretty air. And then he says, but I don't want Daniel Jones to be better.
I mean, Javi, do you think Hop makes him better, Daniel Jones?
As much as I hate to say it, it does, man. Just because you're gonna have a receiver that's played for so many quarterbacks and has so much experience, man, of what he sees in a defender at multiple times, and every aspect of the game plan, man, that you can think of. Cover 2, cover 3, man, what look he likes, what he would do in different positions. That's going to help Daniel Jones in his progression because let's be honest, man, he just didn't have that coach. And now that he has the offensive coordinator and Brian, like he's got everybody knows he got a lot better this year. And adding that veteran receiver is just going to make him better. I agree with Joseph. I don't want him to get better, but at the end of the day, it makes football interesting for sure, 100%.
Well, he has to get better. He's a $40 million quarterback now. It's not he's not on that rookie deal.
I do think that
would be a
offense
safety blanket for Daniel Jones, man.
Yep.
Say it again, Kendall.
Yeah, I do think you add. I mean, we got to see what happens with Saquon contracts, the Barkley contract situation. Nobody's talking about.
Is he going to hold out, right?
Yeah, if they can get that, I think the offensive line is okay. They paid Daniel Jones. You got D-Hop, Hyatt. They think they brought back Sterling Shepard. They got the other receiver there. I can't think his name out of Auburn. He's still there, whatnot. They got some receiver. I think they got Paris Campbell out of the coach too. They signed him. So I mean, I think they got a bunch of 2s and 3s or whatnot. You add D-Hop, make it look similar to the page. I think it makes you better. And then they got the tight end from the Raiders or whatnot. So I think that'd be pretty. Yeah, I think that'd be they'd be pretty good for the Giants. That's a pretty good offense there.
Yeah, I mean they're a run first offense anyway, so I don't think they need that much more help. I think Waller helps. Well, we hope.
Yeah,
well, I don't know about hope, but we think Waller is going to be pretty good for the Giants. He didn't start out his career. Yeah, he didn't start his career out on the best foot. Turned his life around, became one of the best tight ends in the league the last 2-3 years for the Raiders, but he's changing scenes now. He's with the Giants, so it's kind of up to debate on what we're going to see from Waller moving forward. But, adding Waller, in theory, we think that's going to be good. You got Barkley back more than likely. That offensive line is pretty decent. Thomas took tremendous strides. Neal kind of struggled last season. I didn't really see that coming, but he kind of struggled bad last season. They expect Evan Neal to be better along that offensive line, so if you're the Giants, man, you got to get better offensively. You paid Dexter Lawrence. Dexter deserved it. But, you got to get better on that offense, man, because they haven't done much, man. They haven't done much to really help Daniel Jones at all offensively.
Well, they did get the center from, was it Minnesota?
Yeah, John Michael Smith.
He's actually pretty good, man. Yeah, he's good. So.
Yeah, but that wide receiver core it looks like Daniel has to make them better. They cannot make
What if they hit on Jalen Hyatt? Like, what if everybody was wrong and he turns out to be – well, I know Cowboy fans don't want to hear his name, but what if he turns out to be their Deshaun Jackson?
I mean, I think that
all it takes of you to have all you really need in the offense is one guy with juice. Like one playmaker, man.
So I'm going to tell you right now, if he does become who he is – and you have those 2 safeties up top, like Saquon Barkley's gonna eat, man.
So you're saying if they add D-Hop and then you're talking about with Hyatt, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, I also think even if they don't add D-Hop, they need to hit on somebody. Like you can't always think you're gonna just sign receivers.
Hyatt's got to be that guy. If he can blow the top of the doors, man. I'm just saying, like you have to keep those 2 safeties up top. That. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a big deal if they do that.
Joseph, this could be a true test for Jones. He hasn't had weapons, but at some point as a quarterback, you're going to have to elevate the guys around you, which is what I said, right? Which is what I was alluding to.
It's only fair. You want to make all the money. You get all the credit.
I don't
pull some of the weight.
Daniel Jones does not have that wide receiver that can make him better. Then
what if it's Waller? Like, what if Waller really turns out to be the same guy and he turns out to be a big-time playmaker for him?
I'm pretty sure all Raiders fans could tell you that they don't trust Waller. He wasn't available. Yeah. He wasn't available.
But this is also the thing, man. Like, we talk about all these things, but look at what the Giants did last year.
They went to
like I'm just saying, like, everybody's –
it was insane. We almost saw the entire NFC East go into the playoffs.
But what I'm saying is did Daniel Jones not make the players better?
I want to say it was collective. It was just a collective group. I mean, the
Uh,
defense was coming on, and the offense
no,
was.
I got you, but I'm saying he got better as a player. Therefore, the way he throws the ball, the way he reads defenses, all that stuff, check downs, not taking the play he needs to, he made the team better. He made the guys around him better. I'm just saying, and this is going to be their second year. But if Hyatt can be that guy, man, whew, it's going to be a battle in the NFC East.
Well, we'll see, man. So D Hop, we should see. Hopefully, we'll see that he signs a contract soon. Hopefully, it's the best decision for him, his family, and of course, his future in the NFL. I mean, he's still 31, still got maybe a couple years left in him. I mean, that jump ball over those two defenders. What was it? It was like a Hail Mary for a touchdown
against the Bills.
against the Bills, man. So for sure. I think D Hop still has a little bit of he still has that in him. Yeah, like you said, he did.
Well, I mean, what y'all make of the rumors that they say he doesn't like to practice? I've heard that a lot, that he doesn't like to practice. He did have the PD suspension. He had a couple injuries. Did he? I think he tore his ACL. Was it ACL or MCL a couple years ago? And then he had the PD suspension. But my people were saying that he doesn't like to practice, so they don't know if it's a good fit with the Patriots, with him not liking to practice and things like that. But
There could be some story. There could be something on there because for Houston to give up for a second round, the Cardinals just to cut him. I mean, it just goes to tell you there might be something there that we just don't know. Joseph wanted to comment that the ball right did a masterful job last season with Daniel Jones, and I think that sometimes that's what quarterbacks need. It's a new change of scenery, right? Nobody over 30 in the NFL likes to practice except maybe quarterbacks. He's on to
Man,
something.
listen, nobody over 18 likes to practice. I hated to practice, man.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, no, I hated June practice. I hated summer practices. Now, once the season started, I was okay because practices during the week during the season were just walkthroughs or whatnot, going through drills or whatnot.
Nah.
What you mean, nah? I mean, but back then you could still.
I'll be honest,
you could still
man,
break laws and hit.
You. Hey, I practiced like I played, man.
Mm-hmm.
They had.
I mean, if they allowed it.
Oh, they had to tone me down. Trust me, they had to put me on the sideline. But I went all out, 150%. You could never. I was like the damn four horsemen yelling and shit.
Ain't no
freaking practice.
Corners.
Hell no.
Well, I'm talking about like during the season, you're not going to hit as much and play in pads as much as you did during the summer. So during the season is more walkthroughs. You're in class. You get out of class. You're gonna practice from 4 to 7, or maybe 5 to 7, something like that. It's not as hard. Those summer practices used to be brutal. I can imagine in Texas. Dude, like it was hard.
It was 130 degrees, man.
Yeah, it was.
Man,
it was insane. I will tell you this. I just because I know firsthand, I know that Harvey did practice at 100 miles per hour. In fact, it ruined some of his friendships that he had. You know what I mean? Because Harvey just wanted to win. You know what I mean? So just people don't understand. You know, when you want to win, there's a price to pay when you want to win. Right, Harvey?
That's it. You got to pay the price, man.
Let's move it on along, man, because I want to get into this, man. We were pre-gaming for it, and man, things got a little heated up. So let's get this party started, man. Dalvin Cook, man. Ooh, Harv, what did you say about what was that? What did you say about Dalvin Cook?
Well, if we're talking about at the time when the active players were on, he was the third best running back. If you're talking about total, he was the fourth best running back. And he was behind Ezekiel Elliott. He was behind Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. So, but, some other people got some other things to say.
So are we talking about him now, or are we talking about him 4 years ago?
So over the past 5 years.
Because I mean, last season, if I'm not mistaken, he was like 6th in the league in rushing. He averaged 4.4 yards a carry, which was his lowest in the last 5 years. And also, he played 17 games and only cracked 1,100 yards. So, is that something nobody else can give you in the league? I mean, and listen, Dalvin Cook murdered the Lions forever. But he was also good for giving the ball right back. That's why so many Lion Vikings games used to be so close. Because Cook will have 20 carries for 170, and then he'll have a couple crucial fumbles in the second half, whatever. But I just consider the fact, I'm shocked he played all 17 games last season, but you look at it for what it is, man. These running backs, they just not valued like that unless you're just somebody completely special. And if you look at the special guys over the past 10 years, the guys who got paid, Derrick Henry got paid because Henry was a 2,000-yard back, and he was kind of like viewed as a freak of nature, like the new Earl Campbell or whatever. McCaffrey, he had 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing one year, so he was pretty much like the new age Marshall Faulk. He got paid. The rest of these guys really don't get paid. And I think one of the most underrated backs in the league that nobody talks about, who probably should get paid more, is Nick Chubb. So it's kind of hard, man, for these backs to get paid. A lot of them want to get paid off of what they used to be, their names and whatnot. But with the way things are going nowadays, even if another team picks up Cook, he's not going to be the main guy. Nobody's running the main guy anymore. So I think you compare him to Hopkins, the same question arises. Do you want to get paid? So are you going to go somewhere for the money? Do you want to go back home to Florida? Do you want to go somewhere where you can win immediately? Do you want to go somewhere that really needs you and you can get a longer deal, maybe a 2 or 3 year deal? Because I don't see anybody giving them 4 years. I don't think anybody's giving a running back 4 years like that. That's on the other side of 25. So what does he really want?
He wants money. You don't want the $5 million that's been offered to him.
Oh, okay. All running backs want money.
Joey Neto. He says, what? Jerry Martinez living the dream? Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Look, he says the crew is bomb. Round of applause, man.
Appreciate it.
We bubbling out here.
We love it, man. We love it. I appreciate you, Joey. But Kendall, what do you think, man? Does Dalvin Cook still have it in him, even though he has that little shoulder thing where he has to pop it back in place, you know?
I think he
little
does.
shoulder thing.
Yeah, Stephen White. Hi, y'all. What was the name of that movie with Mel Gibson where the shoulder would come out and he would have to pop back into play?
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, Mel Gibson was extra tough, boy.
Mel Gibson, my bad.
I think he does. Dalvin still has it in the right situation. I don't see him as that 20 to 25 curve back. I don't think he needs to go to where he has to be the guy. But I think that he can come in and spell, because it seems like he's probably gonna want to start and running back money. I don't think he want to go nowhere and be the second guy and things like that. But I think he can, in the right situation. I think he can be a really good running back or whatnot. I'm trying to throw a team out there like right now. Like let's see. It's a lot of teams out there. I think Walter made a good point in the pre-show about Arizona. If Arizona, they're kind of rebuilding right now. I'm sure Cook wants to win a ring, but they probably can pay him. Who they running back? Is it James Conner? Nobody. You know what I mean? They got James Conner.
But then would it be smart on their behalf to give a running back, a 27-year-old running back, that kind of money? I just threw them out there if he just wanted to, for example, if he just wanted to go anywhere just for somebody that was willing to give him the bag.
Yeah. What about a team like the Rams?
Yeah, I thought about them too.
Yeah, I could see maybe going to the Rams. They need a spark. It seems like they're kind of on the decline. They need like a spark to the organization. But I don't see him being that 25, 30 carry back no more. I don't see him being that because he got a lot of trade on trade. He's always hurt either hamstring or groin or shoulder. Popping his shoulder back and forth like Jerry just stated a while ago. But I think that, he in the right situation, I think he could spell somebody be a pretty good serviceable back.
So Steve White says, East West football, right? He's saying cheers. We appreciate the love. Joseph says, I think Dalvin still has some juice left, but I wouldn't count on him being a feature back carrying the load. Ralphie, the ruler, says the guys. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Hey, we appreciate everybody. There's 8 of y'all. Hey, if you'll catch this on the rerun or on the replay, hit that subscribe button, man, and turn on the notification. Lets you know when we're going live. Right now, we're taking it easy. Right now, we're going live on Sundays. I think today we should see some more news start picking up, right? Because today I think the Nuggets will close out this. Is the game today for
tomorrow? Tomorrow.
So after NBA's done, right, crowning their new champ, I think that the NFL will take the ratings back, right? I think they're just giving a little bit of a break to the NBA. But of course, I think there's going to be a little bit more movement. And of course, like I said, we're less than 2 months away from training camp where things start really getting, starts getting good because there's still a lot of players. Like we still have Zeke Elliott. He still hasn't signed. Who else? Harvard. I mean, give me.
He's not a running back, but I can't believe that there hasn't been a lot more news on him. Marcus Peters is still out there.
Yeah.
So
Marcus
I mean, is
he still worth it, man? Like if you look at the multiple injuries he's had over the years, the run-ins with various coaches, the attitude problems, and this and that. Considering the fact that he's been accused of being a rogue corner, and how many different stops now.
Another player, Miles Jack, is still out there.
Yeah.
So it's some players. I think Peters should find a job between now and training camp. I think the Ravens might re-sign him.
The funniest thing I've seen of Marcus Peters is that one time where he was going to beat up the fan in the stands.
Does it kind of raise the question about Jack though? Like, has Jack really lost it?
Well,
because when he left Jacksonville, but we thought when Jacksonville put him on the market, we figured that teams would be beating his door down. And then he went to Pittsburgh for 1 year, and they just said, all right, that was enough.
Didn't work out, yeah.
Well, with Jack, I mean, they said that he was going to play, 3-4 seasons in the league because of his knee. Yeah. Remember that? That was a big story.
That's why he fell.
That's why he fell, because his knee didn't check out in the combine. Joseph says, if I'm Buffalo, I would take a long look at him, which is Dalvin Cook. Buffalo only missing piece is the running the ball. It's been all Josh Allen. But okay, Joseph, and I'm going to ask this around the corner. So, it looks like Walt wants to go first. But is this because of the way the offense is designed, or is this because of Josh Allen's play style?
I think it's more about situational running. Because if you look at Buffalo last season, they actually ran the ball well, not just Josh Allen. When you take Allen out of the factor, those running backs were actually pretty good last season. They just don't run the ball when they need to specifically. And they don't have anybody to really lean on. They lean on him entirely too much.
They got Damian Harris now from the Patriots. Yeah. And his Dalvin Cook, James Cook is there.
Yeah, I think Cook is decent too. I don't think they need necessarily. There were rumors before the draft about them probably maybe selecting Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. Those are better backs. I think having one of those type of guys would have forced them to run the ball a little bit more. But honestly, man, I think when it comes to Cook, and I'm going to ask you guys this because I may be the only one on here that shares this view. How about Carolina?
I was thinking about that.
Because, I mean, Carolina, they're not really rebuilding. That defense is set right there. They got the guy under center that they believe is the guy. They brought Deuce Staley, the running backs coach, over from Detroit. You got the head coach right there in place. They're going to run the football for sure. That offensive line is one of the best young O-lines in football. You invested a top 7 pick in Ike Ekwonu a year ago who turned out to be pretty decent, and they actually need him there. He would actually be needed. So if he wanted a 2-year deal, maybe a 2-year deal with an option in it, why not Carolina? And they have an opportunity to actually compete in that division.
I mean, to keep it in the division, what about Tampa Bay? They losing Leonard Fournette. He's still
they ain't going nowhere, though. Baker Mayfield may not beat out Kyle Trask.
Yeah, I like Carolina. I like the fit, but they got Miles Sanders and they lost.
Yeah, they do have him too. Yeah, I just think that it could be. They would be a decent yin and a yang for them, and it would be interesting to see exactly how Deuce Staley would actually unleash both of those guys, because they could run the football for damn sure. And if they had a couple guys in that state and that Staley over there that can actually get things going, that would help out Bryson entirely a lot. So that's just one team I thought out there would be interesting.
I have to agree with Walt, man. That makes a like if you can help your young quarterback see the field a lot better with that kind of running game.
Surround him with as much as you can.
And he's great in the pass game too.
Man, like you're talking about rollouts, maybe shifting the offensive line on run plays like RPOs to the left, right. and
Just
you
think
shift
about
that
how
quarterback
good he
around.
was with Gibbs last year.
Yeah, so I agree with that, man. You can't have too many running backs or good running backs if you're a young quarterback, man. But I didn't even think about Carolina, man. That's a good fit. And plus, I think they did pretty good last year running the ball. I think they lost, was it Foreman?
Yeah.
Foreman.
He did pretty good. So if you put Miles Sanders and Dalvin Cook with that group,
With Chuba, they still got
man.
Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yep.
Still.
So I don't know, man. I think it is. But going back to the Buffalo thing, right? And I want to say the same thing. Dallas had the same issue last year. It's not so much running the ball that you didn't run the ball. It's situational football. I think they have a problem with because at the end of the game against the Niners, they couldn't lean on anybody because they were hurt. Same with Buffalo. Who do they really do lean on to get that running game? Yeah, like that's the wrong person to do it with.
They're predictable as hell because whenever there's a 4th and short, you already know who's going to get the ball. They're going to run a draw with Josh.
So Dalvin Cook does make a lot of sense there, man. So, but yeah, that's my take on those two, though.
I will say this with Carolina, we did see Deontay Foreman, he made some money for himself, but it was with the help of Jeff Nixon. So Jeff Nixon is now with the Giants.
Yep.
And now Deuce Staley is now in that place. Is Deuce Staley a better coach and maybe can get,
He was great here. He was great here. He was great for Jamal Williams. He was great for DeAndre Swift. And he was able to unlock a running game that had been locked for over like 12 years here. So.
Well, and then also there's the flirtation, right? There's the flirtation of Dalvin Cook and the Miami Dolphins. I think there's mutual interest there, but the Miami Dolphins have Rasheem Mostert, Myles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, and then they just drafted Devin
A-Chain,
which looks like they're going in a speed direction.
Mm-hmm.
Can that work, gentlemen?
No. They're a summer football team.
They got chosen.
That's kind of what they are, man.
Jalen Waddle. Who's they tight end?
Did they draft one?
I don't remember them. I know they lost Gesicki to the Patriots. I
forgot who the backup guy was.
They're a track team, man. They got fast.
They're tiny.
Team. Yeah. They got break. I mean,
they drafted another wide receiver, Elijah Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, now I do like him.
I do. But this is my thing. Well, like you have all these receivers and you still draft another one. Speed. They still have Cedric Wilson in the building.
Offensively, how did they look once the weather started to change?
When are they going to cut him? That's been going on for like 2 months before the draft.
Probably in training camp, they're going to cut him.
That's crazy.
They got Braxton Berrios. They got Chosen Anderson. You already top heavy with Tyreek and Jalen.
So what the Dolphins did was they drafted Elijah Higgins, the Stanford wide receiver, and they're converting him to a tight end. But they also have Croft. So is
Eric Uzakama still there? The Texas Tech wide receiver they drafted a year ago. No, they didn't draft him. He was an undrafted free agent. The dude from Texas Tech. He was supposed to be, he's 6'3", 215. He was supposed to be their, possession type of guy, the bigger guy, because that's a tiny football team, man, as far as the skill position guys.
All right, let's go through this, man, because this is crazy. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson, River Craycraft, Robbie the Chosen, Braxton Berrios. You seen that dude? I think he's going through like a competition for freaking muscles or something. I don't know what the hell. Eric Izukamna, right? Braylon Sanders, Freddie Swain, Chris Coleman. I mean, these. And then Elijah Higgins. Like
I think that Israel Makuma, I think he could be something big in this.
Israel, is he from BYU?
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Okay, Texas Tech.
I think he has a unique special to be something special as a wide receiver in the NFL. But that is a plethora. They still have Cedric Wilson.
Yeah.
I think he gets cut though.
Wow. Well, not yet. Well, maybe he was. let's get caught up with these. Stephen White says, I'm okay with Cook. He is a great back, but I'm fine with all the backs we have. We have Hunter Lupke, future Pro Bowler. So for those that don't know, Stephen White is a part of the Cowboy Cast fam. And so he's saying, like, Cowboys, we understand that Dalvin Cook is not even an option for the Cowboys right now. Joseph says, I may be okay calling, but it seems they can't run it when they absolutely need to.
I think he's talking
Buffalo.
about
Buffalo,
Yeah.
you're right. He goes in and he says it's the play calling.
Yeah.
It's a good observation. I always forget about teams like Carolina, which was a good point on Walter's end. Steve White says, salute Kendall, salute Detroit.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Que hubo, Jerry Javier. I love it, man. So for those that don't know, que hubo means what's up in Spanish. You know what I mean? Detroit is a solid team. I had the game circled last year. This year will be fun. And didn't Detroit get Captain Jack Campbell?
Of course. Of course, we got Captain Jack. Leg up.
Whoa, where did he get the captain from, man?
Well, that's his nickname, but that was his nickname at Iowa. Hopefully, he turns out to be that here too.
I was just poking fun at you.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I think that we will see pretty soon with the whole Dalvin Cook situation being. My last question to all of y'all is who gets signed first, Dalvin Cook or DeAndre Hopkins, or can this go all the way into the training camp?
I think Cook, or it could go into training camp. I think both of those guys are going to stay jobless probably for like another month, close to.
Mm-hmm.
What about Zeke?
Zeke, dang man, thing is Zeke's been out there since what, March? I mean, or did they come in March around free agency?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like if he ain't got signed yet, I mean, what's gonna be the whole? He definitely gets signed. He plays football this year. I just don't know. I actually heard some rumor he could be going back to Dallas.
I was gonna ask that too.
Yeah, but it's like you got Ronald Jones, you got Malik David. Y'all still got the other back. Is it Rico
Dotto?
Yeah, y'all still got him and Tony Pollard. It seems like he's ahead of
and when we drafted Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, so why would you bring Zeke back? I mean, I don't see the fit there. But I actually like the Ronald Jones signing for the Cowboys. I've always liked Ronald Jones. He just got fumbling issues, but I feel like and Leonard Fournette's still out there. So I mean, I think
Leonard gonna stay out there too.
Golly, Walt. Golly, Walt.
Dude, a running back that kind of takes pride in not taking care of his body. Like I'm straight on that, man. I'm just super strong.
Hey, he's like John Daly. You know who John Daly is?
The golfer, yeah.
Dude, he's like John Daly. That dude can still play, man. Watch the film.
Prove it.
Watch the film.
That's my phrase for the season. Prove it.
Watch the film. That dude can still play. I don't care how much he weighs, man. He's like the John Daly of golf.
Man, do y'all remember him? I know y'all had to remember hearing about Fournette when he was in high school. Like even like prior to high school, he was the kid that was on YouTube, man.
Yep.
He was the kid that was they got banned from playing little league football and he was in Florida or New Orleans
because he was hurting kids.
Yeah, and all the parents ganged up on him and had him suspended.
So, hey, real quick, because Jerry brought it up earlier, and I want to get it out of the way, just so you guys kind of have an idea of free agents that are still available. Obviously, Hopkins, Cook, Clowney, Marcus Peters, Ronald Darby, Nagu, Ezekiel Elliott, Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette, Dalton Risner, the guard from Denver, Teddy Bridgewater, Adrian Amos, Jarvis Landry, Chris Wormley, Dwayne Smoot, Trey Flowers, Kelvin Van Noy. So there's a lot of players, man. Good players that I think some of them can still play. So it's pretty crazy, man, how the NFL is very competitive, man. There's a lot of good football players. So just throwing that out there.
There's also one more guy as far as trade-wise we didn't mention. That's Chase Young.
Oh, yeah, he did
that's
get
true.
He's a guy that's been linked to Detroit. I haven't heard about too many other teams.
I've seen him linked to Pittsburgh, the Steelers too.
Damn.
Got to ask some questions about him though.
Well, they didn't pick up his fifth-year option, so I mean,
that's 9 sacks. He had 7 as a rookie, and that's 2 sacks over the last couple years.
Let me ask you this: what kind of compensation would you get back for Chase Young?
Detroit got a fifth round pick for Jeff Okuda, who was the third pick in that draft, right behind Chase Young.
Probably he's a third.
Yeah,
third or fourth.
Wow.
third or fourth.
Wow.
He hasn't really done much. You kind of betting on the traits, you know.
So are you saying that Montez Sweat is a better edge rusher than?
Well,
proven
Young
it.
is being hurt.
As of right now, though, that's the thing. What is he like? You know, I hate to say this because it's Jerry Jones, but he always says the best trait to have is availability, man.
Yep. Just that is what he lives by now.
It's availability.
It's not there.
The best ability is availability.
Damn.
But I mean, if he's healthy, do you guys think he's a potential Myles Garrett, or is he just a Clowney, a guy who going to play hard? Because that's one thing you can't take from Clowney. He's gotten to the NFL and he plays hard. People thought coming out of South Carolina he took a lot of plays off. He plays hard. He just struggles closing out plays. So is Chase a guy that can be disruptive but just can't finish?
The only thing I didn't like about Chase coming in, right? He a great talent and everything, and he had a lot of sacks his rookie season. The only thing I didn't like about Chase Young is the way he plays the run. He's an up the field guy, right? So what I mean by that is he rushes up the field so fast that he doesn't remember to squeeze down for the run. And so Dallas, when we played them, they would always run behind that. And so that's the only thing I didn't like about Chase Young. He's not a Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett can go up the field and squeeze down on the run. Two different players, man. I don't think Chase Young is that kind of guy.
He also has a wider array of moves to get there. Yeah, I think that's a big issue that kind of plagued Trayvon Walker a year ago, which I thought him going number 1 overall was ridiculous. But if you look at the performance at the combine, the way he looks in the shorts and the shirts, and the fact that he can run almost 4.5, and he's so versatile, you can move him around. But what is one phrase we've heard about guys who are versatile? If you're too versatile, that pretty much means you can't do anything really well. And that was a big issue with Simmons. Isaiah Simmons coming out of Clemson a few years ago. He's super athletic and so versatile, but he really isn't great at anything that you can really put him out there to do. So I don't know, man. I think pass rushers are born. And I make the comparison between guys like Chase Young and Trayvon Walker to a guy like James Houston here in Detroit. From a physical standpoint, James Houston looks like the guy at the bar you would have a beer with. Physically, he doesn't look anything like Trayvon Walker or Chase Young, but he knows how to get to the quarterback, however he needs to get there, and he 8.5 sacks in 8 games. So I think teams need to stop getting so hung up on how guys look at the combine in shorts and T-shirts and this and that, and stop falling so in love with ceilings. Ceilings will get you fired, man.
It's worked for some teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say the Cowboys are a draft. They're a draft and develop team. So some teams they don't have it. Like you said, it could be a career killer if you're trying to do that and you take the wrong picks, especially that high in the draft. Stephen White says, Detroit will be in the thick of it for sure. I guess
better be.
Yeah. You guys had the number 1 scoring offense for a long time until Dakota Prescott took that from you guys.
That week 17 matchup with Dallas better matter.
It better matter. And Pat's got Zappy. I was hoping to get him back to back up Dak for a few. Damn,
I was praying. That's my guy.
That
was my guy, man.
Harvey really wanted Billy Zappy.
I really wanted him so bad, man.
I wish we could get on the phone right now and send him to you right now.
What?
Give us a second round pick for him.
Burn. Come on. Said a second, boy, for the Zapmeister.
And then Stephen White says all those the names that you went down, Harvey says all those are good players. What do you say? Young can be a beast. Maybe he should pop. Sweat is better right now. Young is never available. Remember what Harvey was saying about the availability right there with Joseph. That's a big if. That's why you can't give up too much for him. Steve just laughing. I think all these things are going to start taking shape and form, especially come in the next couple of months, right? But anything else, gentlemen? I mean, shoot, man.
All I'm saying, these players need to be ready, man. They're a free agent because you never know with injuries, man. 2 years we had Baltimore with all those running back injuries, and they had people on the couch. And according to Walt, Kareem Powder Puff Hunt better be in shape, man, because they might need him. So be ready.
I think Kareem is shape. He just got one of those bodies where he always looks out of shape. He got one of those in shape, out of shape bodies, man.
But the same thing. I mean, he looks like he has skinny legs, kind of like Chase Young. They both have skinny legs. You know what I mean? Which is
He
kind
have the
of
Tim Duncan body, like he.
Oh, don't do that.
Like the
Don't do it.
Paul Pierce,
no.
the
Whoa.
Paul Pierce body.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't no Tim Duncan body. Hell no.
I work out, but not a single cut.
Oh, Timmy. Hey, you don't need to look like you're in shape when you can just hit it off the bank.
Oh no. Nikola Jokic body.
Oh, Timmy, boy.
We'll see, right? The Spurs look like we're going to get another Tim Duncan.
Yes, let's go.
And thank you, Kendall, for not letting me switch teams in my NBA teams. Blake, where you been, Blake?
Where's Blake been, man?
Blake.
We need to put an IPB on that dude.
Blake says, off topic, but are the Chargers in a Super Bowl window?
Ooh.
This is some good content. I like it. Expand on this.
So I want to go first, man. This is my thing about the Chargers that's hurt them. Offensively, I don't know. I was confused what they really want to do. What kind of offense are they? Really? You have a great quarterback, but I don't know. Do you want to run the ball? Do you want to pass the ball? I don't know. It's kind of confusing. So I think that's part of the reason why Eckler wanted to leave. That's part of it. The other thing is, I think the coach does more damage than help. I understand being aggressive, a young coach. I get all that. So your players can get behind you and say, I'm aggressive because I believe in y'all. That's okay. But at certain times of the game, I feel like he lost so many games because he was too aggressive. So I think if the coach fixes those things, I think overall they have a good group. And what they've done on the offseason, I think they're going to be okay. But they have to find an identity. What kind of team are they on offense? That's my thing that I want to see, especially with Kellen Moore going there. What are they really going to do? So that's the question to me. So
I agree 100%. I've been saying that for the past couple of years. I think that team, if you factor in the inconsistent game managing of Staley, the fact that guys that were put on Charger uniforms just can't seem to stay healthy at all, and that's historically been a big issue for them. Watching Charger games feels like Herbert wins in spite of them sometimes.
Yep.
And if you go back to the playoff game against the Jags, that was a horribly managed game in the second half by Staley. And who had to take the heat for it? Herbert took the heat. He was the guy that was deemed as the choker when his guy decided to just keep throwing the ball when they were up coming into the second half. What did they run the ball like 3 times the second half or something weird? It was strange, man. It just feels like he gives, like as Javi said, he does more damage than good. And I feel like they're in a dangerous, really sensitive area right now because as Charger fans or as an organization, you need a decision to make. Like, do you want to – I understand most organizations don't want to keep switching coaches constantly, but this dude is still a baby in Herbert. You want to make sure you maximize his window as well. And how often at least how long do you want to keep the wrong coach there? Because I don't think Staley's the guy, period. I don't think they're going to get better and get over that hump until they get the right guy. Not to say he's anything like Urban Meyer, but Urban just wasn't the right guy for Trevor Lawrence. Now, they're two completely different guys. Not saying Staley is that type of guy, but sometimes having the wrong coach can do a lot of damage for a young quarterback.
What do you think, Kendall?
Yeah, I think they're gonna win now. They definitely put a lot of pressure on them to win right now. Herbert, but he's about to sign his contract. Still got Staley there. They got some good players. Just drafted Quentin Johnston. Their defense is pretty young for the most part. Offense, see what they do with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams for their future. That probably after this year, but they can stay healthy. I think that the Chargers are It reminds me of the Falcons from years ago. They always get close or something like that, and then something happens, either a bad call or just it's always injuries or something like that. Chargers talent ain't an issue. They got talent. I think it's more so coaching and whatnot, and just finishing games. Like just last year against the Jaguars, like that was a debacle. I think it's all about finishing, staying healthy, finishing, and coaching. That's all it is for the Chargers. The talent ain't an issue. I would love to have their problems though, because they got hella talent. I would love that Charger talent that they got.
But they're super up and down too.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys, like, whose fault is that?
20.
One week you can win by 30, and the next week you lose by 30.
So
and
they
it
were
seems like
up.
the Chargers have too many of those type of games.
They were up 27-0 in that game. They had the ball 4 times in the second half. 4 times. So I think that comes down to coaching, man.
I do want to add this to it, right? I love this right now, because right now you're talking about last year we were all anticipating the AFC West to be the toughest division in all the NFL. Yes or no?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so now, you got the Chiefs, who are kind of going on their little run as far as being the next whatever you want to call it, dynasty team, right? So we've already found out that there's no way to stop the Chiefs offense. There's no way to stop it. So how can you fight that? Is by making your offense be able to score as many points as the Chiefs can do. And I'm going to ask you guys all the same question. Have the Chargers added enough offensive weapons, and do they have enough offensive weapons to light up the scoreboard when it comes down to facing against their inter-division rivals like the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think
the Raiders ain't gonna score no points. Let's just be honest.
I think the Chargers have had, like I just said, talent ain't an issue. They've had it the past couple years. They just all about finishing games. Like I said, I would love to have their talent. They got talent. Then you got Quentin Johnson in there, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. I think Josh Palmer. They still got him out of Tennessee. Tight end there with Parham. Like they got talent. The defense is solid. It comes down to coaching, and like how many more times we're gonna add? Like every year we're like, it's this the year they're gonna overtake the Chiefs. It's this year they're gonna overtake the Chiefs. Like it's time for the Chargers to really put those questions to bed. Because like I said, they got plenty of talent. Got a ton of talent. They can get it. They can win right now. I think there's a lot of pressure on though.
Well, let me ask this then: is Kellen Moore going to be that guru that's going to go hand in hand with Brad, right?
No, I don't think so, because this is the thing, right? I think Kellen Moore he didn't go to the right pipeline like all these other offensive coordinators did. He was just kind of thrusted in there instead of being the numbers guy, instead of being the quality control guy and going through all these years and grinding
passing
and
game coordinator.
Yeah, all that. Like he didn't none of that. So to me, you have to have that. The other thing is San Diego is a very undisciplined team. Undisciplined team. Joey Bosa in that loss to the Jaguars had 3 penalties, 2 of them unsportsmanlike conduct. You're supposed to be a leader on this team, but you're the one doing more harm than good. Like, this team needs a coach that's going to be disciplined with these players, because I don't think Staley, he almost seems like he's kind of one of those cool guys. Like, oh, man, it's okay. Just kind of, no. Instead of holding people accountable, he's not that guy. The other thing is Kellen Moore's not that guy either. So you're getting the same guy, but on the other side of the ball. Until you fix those things, I don't see it, man. Even if you do have a talented roster, I don't see it.
They're a talented, undisciplined football team. They remind me a lot of the Jim Schwartz Lions, the early Jim Schwartz Lions, where it was just there was talent all over the field. You had Stafford. You had Calvin Johnson and Sue and Fairley, and Glover Quinn was making plays in the backfield, and you had DeAndre Levy, but they were inconsistent. They were consistently inconsistent. So I don't know, man. Like I said with the Chargers, I think the time frame that we're in right now, they need to make sure at the end of the season, is Staley the guy? Whether they make the playoffs or not, because when you have what you deem as an elite quarterback, because they're going to pay Herbert. So when you have an elite quarterback, you expect to have a window the same as the Bengals with Burrow, the same as the Ravens, even though the Ravens are a way better organization, but the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and of course Mahomes, so be it. But I will say this as far as building a team to outscore people, I would much rather build a solid defensive team to at least keep games in a puncher's reach. Because the Chargers have actually played the Chiefs pretty well the last couple seasons. They just had some bad situations happen to them in the fourth quarter of some games down the stretch. They cost them some games. So, I don't know. I would prefer to build a more solid team because when you build a team to outscore another team, there's a lot of factors that go into that you're not really accounting for. You have to play a lot of clean, mistake-free football. And that's a lot of pressure on your quarterback, too. Everybody's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody doesn't have a Andy Reid calling the plays. So you got a Justin Herbert and a Brandon Staley calling plays and running plays instead of a Mahomes and the Andy Reid. Plus, the Chiefs are a complete football team.
Yeah.
If they, I mean, it's a tough situation. Blake says there with the roster setup, there's no way they can keep everyone for more than 2 more years. I'm coming back swinging. So I think if anything, Blake, I mean, is it safe to say, gentlemen, they're probably maybe like a season off, right? Because they got to get, I guess, accustomed to Kellen Moore's play calling, and then of course, like you said, maybe add some pieces on defense that could kind of round you off a little bit.
They should still expect to contend, at least for the wild card. I don't see them beating out Kansas City, but they should be better than the Raiders. And we really don't know what's going on with Denver. We expect them. I don't know. Denver could turn out to be better than them. We can see how big of the right coach can make, how big of a difference with Sean Payton.
Joseph chimed in when we're talking about Chase Young and the bodies of Chase Young and Kareem Hunt, where he says they got that Deontay Wilder body.
You saying Chase skips leg day?
You should never skip leg day. Joseph Ben also said, looking like he walking on stilts, man.
He had the Johnny Bravo body.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Joseph also said, I agree with your thought process on building it to outscore the Kansas City. That's a big hill to climb. I still think defense is the answer. The Bucs slapped the whatever out of the offense in the prior Super Bowl.
Yep.
I think he's right on that one.
That defense got hot too down the stretch.
It did. It got really hot, man. Really hot. And Fournette started carrying that rock, man.
Remember, they went through Drew Brees. What was left of Drew Brees and the Saints? They went through Green Bay. They beat Washington. I mean, that ain't saying a lot the first game, and then they went to the Super Bowl. And
they got hot, man.
They didn't know that Chiefs offense.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But we'll see, man. I think the Chargers are one of those teams that are still relatively young. They got Herbert, man. Herbert looks like he's going to be he's up there with Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, as far as the future, faces of the NFL itself. So we'll see. I think the Chargers for sure will put up a good fight. Like Walt alluded to earlier, right? Or what you said was, you think they're gonna be in the playoffs, and
I think they're stuck. Like they're stuck in a real rough situation, similar to like what Marino and the Dolphins in the early '90s, where the AFC was so thick that it was just damn near impossible for Marino to get out. Consistently, it was just really impossible for Marino to get out of the AFC. Buffalo was so dominant back during that time. Denver was good with Elway, right? Yeah. The Houston Oilers were always smacking the Dolphins every time they played the Dolphins. It was just rough for Marino to get out, and I think Herbert could just turn out to be a victim of playing in the wrong AFC in the wrong era.
I think you're absolutely right. That's crazy. That's a crazy comparison, man. But I hope that's not it for the Chargers, man. But let's see what Kellen Moore can do. I know that there's a lot of there's a fan base that's torn, and even mainstream media and some content creators that think that Kellen Moore is a guru, and a future head coach in the league. I think this is his opportunity to break away from the Cowboys and make his own name in the NFL. We'll see, man. Hopefully the Chargers will be a team to contend for. Gentlemen, anything else you want to add before we sign off for the day? Well, then throw in your plugs, man. What do you guys got cooking up in your content?
Follow me at Ken's Patch Talk on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. That's Ken's Ken apostrophe S Patch Talk on Instagram, Twitter, and make sure you subscribe to my channel on YouTube.
Yeah, and tune in tonight to Detroit Lions Avenue on YouTube, where we will be discussing the 2016 playoff Lions team versus the 2023 team in comparison.
Love it, love it. Arv, what you got cooking?
You already know, man. America's team. America's team, baby. The Cowboys Cast, everything the Cowboys Cast, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Follow us, subscribe, man. You know what it is.
And of course, please hit the subscribe button. We are trying to get East West Football to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, man. And if you see us on any social media, give us a like there too, man. We're trying to grow all over. And of course, make sure you help Detroit Lions Ave get to 1K. Help Ken's Pet Talk get to 1K. Help the Cowboy Cast get to 1K, man. We need the 1,000 across the board, man. So if you can, go follow us on those. We really appreciate that. Let's. I think we have somebody chiming in right now. Let's see here. What do you say? If Kellen Moore makes this is by Joseph. If Kellen Moore takes this moment to reflect and adjust and fix his weakness, he could become that guru people think he is. But I also think he has an ego for no reason that might get in his way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm gonna agree, but I ain't gonna comment too much on that.
Wow. I think Joseph is onto something there, man. We
can discuss this after the camera's off.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
I don't want to get too offensive.
There was one situation where he said he wanted to air the ball, but he was told to run the ball. Joseph also said, I subscribe to all your casts. Love them. Quit my job so I can tune in.
Hey, man, now don't quit the job. You quit the job. How you going to keep the internet on?
He's so y'all know he's my friend. He's retired military, so he can afford it.
Nice.
Hey, bro. He did say, I'm done, man. I can't watch none of y'all shows. I quit. He really did.
I love it, man. We appreciate we all support troops here. We appreciate that so much. But he said, I got you covered, laughing out loud, man. I love it. Hey, well, stay tuned. Right. I mean, right now, East West is going live on Sundays. Unless breaking news happens, we will be live instantly. So if you can turn on the notifications, we'll let you know when we go live. That's it, YouTube. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday.